So I didn't have note cards, but I did have, a paper, just folded it in fours. There's no writing on any other part except for this one little quadrant. So that's what I'm going to be using. All right. I'm going to wait for this to hit 25. Or actually, I'm going to wait for it to hit 30. Hi, my name is Joseph Quintin Hinojosa, and I'm going to be speaking about Cesar Chavez. Now, Cesar Chavez Boulevard is a street in San Antonio, Texas, that you can find in the downtown area. It was actually known as Durango Street up until 2012. A big reason why I decided to use this street is because my father is an attorney and actually was on the board for the city to change the name, and so I'm very well acquainted with the street. Now, Cesar Chavez was born in Yuma, Arizona. There he was a farm worker with his family who worked in the fields to earn a living. And on the weekends, he would go and he would work, and then he'd go to school during the week. After his junior high school education, however, he decided to work full-time and help his family. Over some time as he grew up, he decided to join the United States military. He went into the United States Navy and became first-class seaman over time. Now, after his time in the Navy, he was honorably discharged and he was relocated back to Delano, California. There he meets Helen Fabella and they marry. He decided to go back into the migrant worker industry and he worked for the General Box Company. The General Box Company was a fairly large distributor of farmed goods, and there he met Fred Ross and Father Donald McDonald. They were great influences on him because they were activists and they wanted more for a lot of the migrant workers that they had seen in that region. They gave him literature of activists from the past, one being one of his biggest influences, which is Mahatma Gandhi. They created the Community Service Organization, which was known as the CSO. It was a place where migrant workers could come together as a community and air their grievances and try and get some sort of organization and do serviceable acts for people in the community. Over time, he becomes chairman, and unfortunately, because of the way that the organizations were going, he just did not see eye to eye as they got larger in size and decided to resign. But now he creates what we know as the National Farm Workers Association, the NFWA, which is what we attribute to him in history. It's what he's known for. Them and the United Farm Workers, or the UFW, were actually a team of sorts. They created a union for migrant workers so that they could have more rights and so their employers wouldn't be able to take advantage of them. Back in those days, it was very easy for people, especially if they were undocumented, to be taken advantage of and paid less for a lot of the work that they did. And it was hard work. Working in the fields is not easy. It's very laboring on your body, and it's not something that you can do for very long. He creates a headquarters called the 40 Acres. There, a lot of people in the organization and in the community could come together in some sort of village, and it was just a place of solace for them. They could relax, they could have food together, and they could just talk about what their goals were. Now, the U.S. government and the employers still did not really give a lot of rights to the people that were working in those fields. And so there was unrest. He was a peaceful protesting activist, but a lot of the people in his organization actually started to become relatively violent. And this is what leads him to create his public fast. He decides to fast even when the doctors around him are saying not to, because he wants to show how much he cares about this organization and what they're trying to do. To break the fast, he invited Robert Kennedy to break bread with him on national television. And this is what really projected them into the national eye. This is what created a lot of publicity for them, and it started to get the ball rolling on a lot of the things that they wanted to get accomplished. Now, Cesar Chavez died on April 23rd, 1993, at the age of 66. And he was activist until his very last breath. He was actually supposed to testify on trial at the time. He led a great life, and he was a very influential person. And I think that if you drive down San Antonio, which is a predominantly Latin and Hispanic city, you will see that name on that street sign is definitely well earned. I hope that you've learned something here today, and I hope that next time that you are driving down that road, you know a little bit more about Cesar Chavez. Thank you.